Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Coaching Think Talk. I am Life Coach Shaun Joya from Life Coach Philippines, and this is Coaching for Sane Parenting. This coaching conversation is for parents who are wanting to understand their children. If you're someone who wants to understand your children because they cannot seem to understand you, well, this is the place for you. And my mission is to be able to help 1 million parents create a peaceful and harmonious relationship at home. Thank you for joining me live today. And please leave your digital footprints by letting us know where you are at or where you are coming from today. Please do tag your friends and circulate this video to help us reach more individuals who might be in need of what I'll be sharing with you this session. This is a great, it's the first day of the month. Yeah, it's the first day of the month of July. And, first day of the month is always a great thing, right? It's always a new day. It's a new month. It's something that we could continuously work on with our relationship with our children, and also our relationship with our spouse, and also with our parents, and also other people in our space. You may also get a shout out there to people you want to greet and reach out with some inspiring message. So send them an inspiring message. Send them something that would beat their heart. Especially it's a Thursday, right? It's a Thursday morning. It's a latter part of the week, and most often, if you are working in the corporate world, it's a tiring week, but you're looking forward for the weekends, and that's something that we want to do. And if you're a parent right now watching, just find someone in there, message someone in there, give some blessings, some shout out in there, so we can have more people and teach more people how to, be a better parent. If you are watching this, of course, on a replay, please do comment hashtag replay in there. I am streaming via FB page of Life Coach Philippines, and also the YouTube channel Coach AI Connect. Coach AI Connect. Just look for that in the YouTube channel. And if you are watching, or if you are new in our platform, please like, follow, and subscribe. All right. So as we begin this wonderful morning, yeah, I'm going to talk to you about my topic: arguments in the eyes of our children. That's what I'm going to talk to you about. And this is something that's close to me. And it's something that, as I grew as a parent, as I grew, I mature, I had more wisdom. It's something that I have realized in time that we as a parents and also our children need is for them to be able to have a deeper understanding of how emotions are, and what are emotions for, and how you can manage it, and how you can help your children become better at managing their relationships. So if you have any friends in there, if you know someone that would be able to take advantage of this talk, feel free to message them and have them join in. All right. So before I begin, let me introduce to you to the professional life coaches, for the life coaches who will be joining you for the next couple of months, and every single day at 10 a.m., at 2 p.m., and at 4 p.m. This is Coaching Think Talk, and these are the coaches that you will be seeing, you will be hearing from, you will be getting wisdom, you will be getting nuggets, you will be getting knowledge, you will be getting a lot of different things that would allow you to become the best version of yourself. And you look at their, faces in there. Of course, I'm there. My better half is there as well, as you can see. Where's my better half? Oh, there is my better half. And also have Master Coach A is now joining us in Coaching Think Talk. So it's a lot of new things in store for you. We also have new additions to the speakers for Coaching Think Talk. This is where you will really get the true blue, authentic on how we do it here in the Philippines and how we do it here in Life Coach Philippines. So if that is something that you look forward to, just stay tuned in there every single day at 10 a.m., at 2 p.m., and at 4 p.m. At that same page, Life Coach Philippines. All right. So for those of you who want to know more about what I do, I would like to invite you, of course, to join me. If you are a parent, if you are someone who wants to improve your relationship with your children, if you are someone who wants to have a better relationship with your children, feel free to join me inside my page. It's Effective Parenting Partnership. This is a page I created for parents, again, who wants to create a peaceful and harmonious relationship with their children. If that is something that you want to do, it's something that you are working towards to. If it's something that you want to strengthen your relationship, then that is the page that I created. I'm the founder in there, and I post in there tips, tricks, you know, ideas for you, things that you can utilize for you to be able to have that relationship with your children. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I post in there, and I also post in there daily engagement for you to be able to start reflecting on, and also allow your children to, open up these conversations. I think one of the biggest things that I've learned in the 3 years of my life coaching career is asking powerful, thought provoking questions allows us to have a deeper emotional connection with our children. And that is something that I've learned, and I'm teaching that inside the group. And my hope is you'll be able to get some nuggets in there, and then you would also see the results that I have as well with my children. And of course, I would like to invite the men out there to join me inside Inspired Fidelity. Inspired Fidelity, I created this for men to be mentally fit so that they can live a more meaningful and fulfilling life. Maybe you have a husband, you have your husband in there, and your husband is wanting to be able to see life more, be more, achieve their goals, achieve their dreams in life. There's something that they have in their heart that they haven't really had that moment to really express themselves because of their heart to provide to the family. Growing up, we have this expectation as men that we are providers of the family, financial providers, but we tend to forget that also as human beings, we also have our dreams and desires, and it's something that we want to do, and it's something we want to impart in this world. At least it's our end of our times, and of course, we're gonna end our time here in this world. We know that we've done something worth meaningful and fulfilling, and of course, introducing myself, I am Coach Shaun De Hoya, a professional co-actively co-create life coach, and a mental health coach from Life Coach Philippines. And my focus is in the area of self-leadership. So most of the conversation that I have, and every conversation that I have, is focused towards self-leadership. And self-leadership is your ability to be intentional in the way you feel and the way you think and the way you respond. Because if you are intentional with the way you feel and the way you think and the way you act, it means that the kind of experiences and the kind of relationship that you would want is also intentional. It means you are clear of what the kind of experiences you want to have with your children, the kind of experiences you want to have with your spouse, with your parents, with your friends, and all the people that you work with as well, and also the kind of relationship that you want to create. I've been a father since I was 19 years old. So you might be asking, who is this guy, this bald guy? Well, I'm not fully bald. This guy who doesn't have any hair, who's teaching parenting. Who is he, right? Okay, I have been a father since I was 19 years old. So I started way, 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 way early in my life as a father. And I realized that fatherhood is the most difficult, challenging, and fulfilling job. Let me rephrase that. Commitment, you know gift that's given by God to us. And if we're able to utilize that, we're able to understand, have a deeper understanding of our children and how we need to parent our children. It just makes the life worth living and it worth fighting for our children. I have two children, yan. Children you see there and in the screen in there. My daughter is now 19 years old and my son is 15 years old. So they're both teenagers. And my daughter in there, if you see her, she's looking at us. One of the biggest reasons why I have this passion for parenting is because my daughter, when she was 16 years old, she was not diagnosed with clinical depression, and that's one of the greatest changes in my mind and in my heart, and where I was lacking as a father. I was missing something. I know I was not doing something that was not supporting my child to be, you know, to be productive, to be able to see themselves, to be able to see that their self worth is. And then I started to change that 3 years ago when I got certified as a life coach. And I decided for myself that I want to be able to leave something to my children and my daughter specifically, and also my son, so that they won't go through the same experience that I have as a parent. Because I mean, 19 years old as a parent, you don't really know what's gonna happen. I just asked my mom who's took care of me, in guidance, and that is something that I've learned, and my sharing my wisdom with you. And my hope is you would be able to learn some wisdom and nuggets in here, and how you can have a conversation with your children, and how um, you can utilize your emotions, your learnings, how can utilize and conversations that you have with your children, so that it can be a deeper connection. And you can utilize arguments as an opportunity to have an emotional connection with your children, and that is something that every one of us can do. And if something that you can move forward with, I think that's going to be creating a better space for us. What I'm sharing to you here, again, nuggets and wisdom in there. So if you know someone, you feel that maybe that person needs to hear this, maybe that person would want to have a deeper understanding of how we can utilize our arguments with our spouses and make that impact not into a negative impact, but more of a positive impact, so that your children understands, manages, and controls their emotions. Imagine if you are someone who's, maybe having challenges, you see your children suddenly burst out for no apparent reason whatsoever, or maybe gives you that face, and you're trying to understand what happened to my child. And this is where the place for you. All right. So thank you everyone for joining me this wonderful morning. I truly appreciate everyone in here. Ayan, madami na tayo. And thank you. Tien is here. Ayan, Coach Tien is here as well. We have Coach Lynn, Coach Joanna is also here. Maraming salamat. Coach Trisha, Coach Giselle, and many, many more joining in there. Marami pong salamat for joining, watching from Tacloban. And thank you for joining. Tacloban, that's good to hear that data is good in there. So thank you very much for joining me this morning. So let me show you this image. This image is a picture of my daughter, of obviously my daughter and my son. They're very cute in there. But they were young back then, and this was an image of how I was, a good reminder of how I was when I was a father back then. I'm the typical father that's an absentee father. I'm the type who's not there most of the time. Like, I don't really know how to take care of my children, for that matter. I was only there to provide and support for the family. And one of the things that I've learned as I progress in my role as a father is the importance of fatherhood in any relationship, because that one sets the tone of how our children will respond in relationship, in response in their emotions, and with response in any challenges whatsoever in their life. And growing up, it was only recently that I intentionally invested on my relationship with them. Intentionally means that I really started talking with them. I really started connecting with them. Not just the conversations in which that you're just there just for the sake of it, right? You're there physically, but you're not there emotionally and mentally. And that kind of relationship took a toll on me, on what I was missing and lacking in life. And as my children grew, and when my daughter, that's my daughter. My daughter got diagnosed with depression when she was 16 years old. I started to reflect on what are the things that I was doing as a father that allowed her to experience as such. And it was a difficult moment for me, because I needed to understand and I needed to accept that I am responsible for what happened to my daughter. So Coach Tin and I decided to find different ways to support our child, because Shyla would come into a space where she's just sleeping in her bed. having the sheet covered in there, and she doesn't want to get up. And for me, I started to question how I was parenting my children. And when we transitioned and we learned about life coaching, Coach Tin was really the one who wanted to be a certified life coach. That is when I had this, just a blessing from God and telling me that, hey, I'm giving you this because I know you've been asking it. I'm not a prayerful guy, by the way. Not intentionally praying, and that has just given me this blessing that I'm giving you this for you to utilize it, and eventually you can utilize it for other people as well. And as we progress in the last 3 years of being a certified life coach, our daughter has been better. She has her episodes of depression, but not to the point in which that she's not able to cope. She does this sad mode, and you can't talk to her. She doesn't do that anymore. She's resilient and she's able to bounce back. She's able to have these questions as well in her head to understand where the emotions is coming from. And the conversation became deeper and deeper in our relationship. And that is not something that typical stereotype of fatherhood. um, a child would be able to express with you their emotions and their feelings. And I continue to do that, in which, my child now, my daughter now, she's 19 years old, and she's now an entrepreneur. She's earning in her business. She's an animator. And we've been blessed with her, and we've seen her progress utilizing life coaching. And that is where I'm imparting with you. Every time I go live here on a Thursday at 10 a.m., I'm imparting with you the knowledge and the experiences that I have, so you don't go through that experience. Because that experience for me was very, very heartbreaking. And I doubted myself on, I've told myself I was a bad father, and I needed to change that. And if you are listening in right now, you're a parent, or maybe you know someone who's a parent, and maybe the parent is struggling with their children. Maybe the parent is complaining about different things with the children. Have them join in here. Let's help the future generations, because no one can change our children except us. And it starts with us first changing. And that has been my journey. And here's my son now. He's 15 years old. He's the type of child who doesn't speak a lot. I mean, before he was so sweet with my wife anyway. But as he grew, as we started to spend more time at work and less time with them. So Coach Tin has also worked before, and you know we put in less time with them. And my son started to have this own little world in him, and we're not able to have the time and moment with him. And still, that question remained in me, that what am I doing as a father that's not allowing my children to have that connection with me? Came in life coaching, and that is where I started changing. I started realizing that one of the reasons why my son is not expressing with me, because of me, because the way that I parent, because I was parenting in ways that my mindset is, I provide to the children, I provide to the family, and that's it. We go home, right? And that changed a lot. And this verse from Proverbs 22:6 speaks a lot of what's in my heart, because I realized that for us to be able to train our children and for them to be successful, is we need to continuously invest in time with them, not to be just physically present, but to be there to teach them, to mentor them, to give them insights, never to give them advice. Before I was an advisor, I've thrown that away, and I've shipped that into coaching, and I coach them so that they can understand how they feel, they can understand how they think, and they can understand their response. And Proverbs 22:6 said that, train up your child in the ways that he should go, even when he is old, he will never depart from it. And that has been my mission ever since, to make sure that my children is following, understanding how they think and how they act. So that is my story. And today, I'm truly blessed with them. I'm blessed that they're able to have started the conversation with me. They're able to have that connection with me. And it's something that has changed the way I see things, and it's the reason why I'm teaching you this. So let's move on. Have you ever heard this term, never argue in front of your kids? Have you heard of that? Maybe you've heard it from a friend of yours. Maybe you've read it in the internet. Maybe, it's something that your parents have told you, that never, 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 never argue in front of your kids. That kind of mindset has, been stuck with me ever since I was young, because my mom and my dad would never, never argue in front of us. This is the old plea that says parents needs to avoid conflict and strong negative emotions when they're around with their children, because it's not healthy for them. It's not good for them. It's not something that would help them. And for the last before became a certified life coach, this is something that both my wife and I agreed upon, that we will never fight in front of our children, that we will fight in our rooms, and that's where we're going to have disagreement and what have you, and so on. And that is where really everything comes in. But I've realized that one of the challenge of doing that is because our children are not able to see the value of what's happening behind closed doors and how they can learn from it. And you know what? Never arguing in front of your children also doesn't teach them how to argue and how to resolve conflicts in the first place. So, what is your belief about argument? It is something that your belief is also similar as mine, that you need not argue in front of the children, or you're someone who's arguing with your children, but also explaining to your children what you're arguing about. So before I move on there, I just want to acknowledge people who's watching. Thank you for joining. Ayan, si Elena, thank you for joining. Coach Lynn is also, Coach Rizal is also here. Master Coach Jasmine, maraming salamat for joining. What is your mindset in there? Now, the challenge with this mindset that never argue in front of your kids, this is something that is really hurting our children. And what's the reason why? There was a research conducted in Washington State University, Vancouver scientist, where the Vancouver scientists disagreed with this mindset. And research, based on research from Washington State University, shows that it is better, or it can be better for children to witness their parents' emotions, even when they are negative ones, than to feel the tension of them being suppressed. It means that when you are in argument with your spouse, you need to be able to show that to your children so that you can express that negative emotion in a healthy way, than to tone them down. Apologies for the spelling. To tone them down, than to suppress them, than to hold on them. Because children, based on this research, and this is research, by the way, what they did is they have both the mom and the dad and the children put into one space. And what they asked to do with the children or the parents is to complete a Lego block. And there's a instruction in there, but the instruction was never given to the parents. The instructions was only given to the children. And what the parents need to do is to assemble the Lego blocks and to see if the parents can, build it in patience and how they respond emotionally, what have you. So think about the moment in which you were doing something unknown, and how were you responding to that situation? Were you responding in ways that would allow you to be more in control or manage your emotions? Or were you in a space where you can get very, very irritated easily in just a small discomfort? And how is that being observed and accepted by your children? And how is your children responding in the same way? Based on research, kids pick up on suppression, but it's something that a lot of parents think it's a good thing to do. So suppression is something that our children would mirror because they see that, hey, when my mom is such emotions, when she's angry, she just goes inside, hides in the room, cries in there, but I don't see what's happening in there, and afterwards I don't even know what's happening after, or I don't know what to do after. So what is wrong with this image if we think about it? What's wrong with this image? What's wrong if we keep, this kind of emotions with us, if we don't argue in front of the children, is our children know that something is wrong. I am not a perfect husband. I've been into a space where I did something stupid. I went into a space where I womanized because of a lot of different things that's happening in my mind, that I thought that I was not in the right relationship, that I thought that I needed to find another relationship for me to be happy, joyful, and all of those different things. And during those times when Coach Tin and I weren't doing well in the relationship because I was doing something, not good, um, our daughter observed that. She was silent about it. I mean, she wasn't really expressing that much with us, but she know that something was wrong in with our marriage, that our relationship are starting to drift apart. And when there was a time in which our kasambahay, our nanny here, told us afterwards that everything was settled, we were able to fix our differences, and I was able to start changing and healing. She told us that one of the things that our daughter was doing is she goes to church and pray for us because she had this fear that maybe in the future our family would fall apart. And I've been raised in a family that my parents and both my parents are not in the same house. So that hit me hard because this, you know, kind of conversations we don't have with our children. We don't share with the children. And that is really the danger in it. Because when parents continue to try to stamp down or suppress their negative emotions, children will also pick that up. And I've proven that. I've seen that with my child. They know something is wrong. And most often than not, they can easily think that it's their fault. Why the parents are as such. And it's true. When I was talking to my child, she told me that maybe it's her fault. Maybe she wasn't doing something. That's why the relationship is like that. And that allowed me to stop and think about and reassess my situation. So that experience taught myself and Coach Tin that it's better to open about emotions with your child. I just want to remind you that it's never good for you to be aggressive in arguments in front of your children. Don't be aggressive. And I will teach you little later how you will do that so that you won't become aggressive, shouting, doing KKK, nagliliparan yung kawali, kaldero at kutsilyo. Don't do that. Based on research, it shows that children who see their parents fight and then resolve in a healthy way have much more emotion regulation skills and do much better in their social interaction than kids who don't ever see these kinds of conversations. So in every moment that you have a conversation with your children, every time you have this argument with your spouse, much better that you would have your children in there so your children can see it and you can explain to them how you are managing the relationship and how you are managing the conflict and how you are managing the differences. Tell your children that you're angry, tell your children that you're irritated, and tell them what you're doing about it, what you're going to do about it, and how you will make things better as far as the situation is concerned because you are resolving the problem. I hope you're still there. So, how to manage arguments in front of our children? I'll just give you these three rules that has fairly worked for me, and you can practice all of this. You can practice one in the next 30 day, tomorrow, in the next 2 weeks, and in 30 days. And this one allowed me and allowed also Coach Tin because I'm as a father, I need to be able to carry the family. And of course, that starts with a conversation. And I need to make that change. So, number one rule on how to manage arguments in front of our children is to regulate yourself. Regulate of yourself. It's your first responsibility as a parent. First, regulation. Regulation means that, whenever you are about to explode, you regulate that in your mind first and the way you think. Because that is where it starts. You're thinking that maybe your spouse is taking advantage of you, maybe your spouse is saying this, maybe your spouse is doing this, and so on and so forth. Control that, manage that. Because conflict will arise when you don't have control over the way you respond. And the reality is, no one can be peaceful all the time, and that's okay. But when you're able to regulate your emotions, it makes it a whole lot better experience. Number two is connection is what children needs the most from parents. This is rule number two. Parenting is not a set of strategies you will need to implement. There's no such thing. The conversation revolves around really creating relationship. It's all about relational connection, relational conversation, relational interaction. So make any emotional situations an opportunity to connect with your children, to express with your children, to explain to your children what is happening and how you are working on that to be better. Because they learn from you. And also, you learn from them. And the rule number three is the most effective discipline strategy is emotion coaching. If you want to discipline your children, if you want to discipline yourself, if you want to help your spouse be disciplined, learn emotion coaching. Discipline is not punishment. We need to start changing our mindset about discipline because discipline is not punishing a person. The word discipline originally means to learn or to be guided. So when you discipline your children, is you teach them or you help them to learn. And in learning comes with reflection. Because when you continue to reflect on the things that you've said, you continue to reflect on the things that you've done, you continue to reflect the result of your children and how they were growing up, then you would understand that, hey, something needs to be better. That I need to do something. I need to change. I need to be better. So these are the three simple rules that every single day I remind myself on how life can be better. And in coaching parents, this has worked so far. As long as you really have the heart for your children to change, because it really starts with the heart, and that is where life coaching has really allowed me to be more human. Uh, you know, being a being successful in the corporate world in my career, you get to focus too much on your work that you tend to lose sight of your children. And this has been my learning. John Green said that the nature of impending fatherhood is that you are doing something that you're unqualified to do, and then you become qualified while doing it. Now, I want to go back to this picture. This picture says a lot of how I saw my children afterwards. Um, I've realized how painful it was for me to be a parent, and I've realized how painful it is for me to be able to not help them, become better versions when they were growing up. Like I said, I was an absentee father. I was physically there, but mentally wasn't there. And when when I've learned how fatherhood influences significantly the growth of the children. And I've seen that time and again. I've seen that when the father is so close with the children does very well and they're able to make the right decisions because they're being guided accordingly. And being guided means not telling them what to do. Being guided is asking them what they want to do and clarifying with them what their heart is desiring. And that journey for me has been a wonderful journey. And our daughter is cooking and she's learned that from us. you know we're cooking, we're able to spend time with her, we're able to talk to her, and that's just been a wonderful experience. And everyone was us as parents, we're not qualified to be parents, but the greatest thing that can help you really become a best version, or if you really want to be a great parent, your parenting manual. One tip that works: your children. Your parenting manual is your children. If you want to parent your children, if you want to support your children, if you want your children to be the best version of yourselves, have that relational connection with your children. But if something that you are struggling, if something that you're having challenges, maybe you are in the stage right now where your son or your daughter is have their own little world and you want to be able to start moving towards getting closer with them because you want to have this peace that when they grow up, they will be well. Let me invite you. Join us in the life coaching profession. There's only a few life coaches. There's one out of 80,000 people in the world in life coaches. As a parent, I have learned and I have proven that coaching would really allow you to become the best parent in the world for your children. If this is something that you want to embark on, and this is something that you want to move forward, this is something that you want to invest with your children, I highly recommend it. It's a three, it's co-actively co-create life coach certification program. This is what I'm practicing, is co-actively co-creating with my children so that they create the life that they want. Not the life that I want for them, but the life that they want to live. And this is a comprehensive approach, 21 days journey, and it's an active process of creating new path to achieving results in life so that success is inevitable. And if you have a goal in there for your children, it's something that you can and make happen. It's a 21-day online learning journey. It includes a 3-day live coaching bootcamp. And if you want to monetize this, which we're monetizing right now, I've been in the corporate for 14 years, quit corporate, work on this full time, been here for 2 years now, earning money. If this is something that you want to monetize in the future, you can do so. Because, the tribe will help you manage or create your business. Plus, there's a whole lot more freebies in here. But the biggest here is really having the skills for coaching and helping your child with emotion coaching. If this is something that you want to take advantage of, no, feel free to message Coach Giselle, 0917-586-1661. And if you're still doubtful how coaching will help you, I'll just give you these points. Coaching will help you as a parent if you want to improve communication lines with your children. If you want to reestablish positive family relationship, coaching would help you. Life coaching would help you. If you want to build confidence and self-efficacy in parents and children, life coaching would allow you to do that. And if you want to develop problem solving skills and creative skills, and see your children become better, solve their own problems, think for themselves, do the things that they want in life, life coaching would allow you to do that. And of course, if you want to develop more of your parenting skill, I would like to invite you to my group. It's Effective Parenting Partnership. It's a group that I created with the passion to really help future generation. And if something that you want to move forward with, just feel free to add in there, answer the questions so I can welcome you in my tribe. And of course, if you need a coach, I'm also going to share you a toolkit that you can start using, or a checklist that you can start checking. If one of this, of course, is something that you need, feel free to message me. These are the points that would allow you if coaching is something that you need. If there's behavior problem with your children, if it's stress related parenting issues that you have, if you need developmental activities, if you're parenting during transition or crisis, which a lot of us are doing, or practical problems that would help you create plans for it, then you need a life coach. So if you have any questions, feel free to message me. I would be happy to help you and support you. I would also like to invite you, if it's something that you have the heart for mental health, if you have a heart to helping others, I'm inviting you to join us to be part of the Be Learning for living smarter with monthly perks. Last May, Master Coach A has launched the Be Learning Society, the tent maker of Be Learning Home for Mental Fitness, and Decap Copy Republic is hosting the Be Learning e-card that unlocks opportunities for smarter living, and you have a monthly perk. I am member number 11, so I've invested on this because I want to be able to help the passion project of Master Coach A. And you will get 3 perks in here. The first one is a 5% food and beverage discount. A second is a monthly mental model masterclass from Master Coach A happening every third Saturday of the month. And third is you'll get a 90-minute coaching session with senior coaches from Life Coach Philippines. And what you'll get this month, it's going to be on July 17th at 7 p.m. Master Coach A will teach the 80-20 mental model mastery. If you are familiar with the Pareto principle, that is something that Coach A would teach you. And you can utilize this 80-20 rule in every area, almost every area of your life, to accelerate your success. So if it's something that you want to leverage on, don't think about it. Take advantage of this. I mean, the investment that you will put in there is more than enough for the value that you will get, and would help you as well with your children. Just connect with Coach Russell, 0917-586-1661. All right. So thank you very much for joining me. As I end this conversation, let me invite you to be part of what we are doing as an organization of professional certified CACC life coach. Do join us again at 2 p.m. for Coaching for Intentional Living with Coach Nords. And at 4 p.m. is Coaching for Unbarrenness with Coaching C. Bercasio. All right. So do join us 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. It's going to be a powerful learnings as we continue on with Coaching Think Talk. And again, once again, thank you very much. This is Life Coach Shaun De Hoya from Life Coach Philippines, Coaching Think Talk. Coaches like us think and talk like this. This is us from the Philippines. Thank you very much. Labam boom, labam boom, labam boom. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.